Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. This is season 3, episode 39, and I think this is going to be one of my shortest ones yet. I don't have overly too much to talk about, but I did want to talk about a project that I just finished up earlier for neighbors Zaida and James, mostly for Zaida actually. And then Trashy Hood, of course, the couple of days that I managed to get out. This week I was recuperating from the wedding of last week. And then also a little bit about upcoming planning and projects that I'm going to be doing that go into the holiday season, all the holiday seasons. So it's not just let's talk about Christmas and here it is October 23rd. No. And by the way, side note, let's say happy birthday to the sister Norma. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Norma. Hope you're having a good day. If you are fans or family or friends of Norma, be sure and shoot her a note and wish her happy birthday and tell her that you saw it here on Javier in the Air. So, I have a new bottom line as well, but let's go ahead and just go into Trashy Hood. So here is Trashy Hood for the week. Okay, so here we have day 2 of week 14, and you see the normal plastics. Truly, of course, they always seem to be drinking a lot of that in this neighborhood. 5 Hour Energy, some bits and pieces of plastic and rubber. This is day 4, and it was all about the plastics and food containers. You see there in the top left. Also, I was walking off of 620, so there's a lot of car pieces on the bottom right. Looks like a couple of accidents happened. Day 5 was Friday, and a continuation with all the different bits of water bottles and plastic and ties and zip ties and rubber and more just various pieces of junk that probably fell off of people's cars or when they were driving with the windows down. And then I wanted to highlight that I only had 9 butts. Still sad, but only 9. And then Saturday was our coffee walk, and you see that a couple of church magnet flyers, another truly pineapple flavor. I didn't know they had that. Water bottles, and then I think like 13 or 14 cigarette butts. All in all, not too bad. Okay, so I want to reiterate something here real quick. So I just said how I was kind of surprised and pleasant about how little junk there was on some of these days, but that's not true. There was quite a bit of junk. The day that had the car parts actually filled up my recyclable HEB bag that I use for walking around the neighborhood and filled it up entirely. Probably weighed about 20 pounds. And like I said, I was up on 620, so I was able to pick up some fenders and bits of fender and other plastic parts that belong to a car and some bolts. I don't know what happened. It must have been a pretty good accident. But I'm only pleasantly surprised that one of the days I only had 9 cigarette butts. I don't see cigarette smoking as much anymore, but obviously the people at home still do it. So, and hey, that's up to them. That's their personal choice. I can't tell them one way or the other what to do because that's their life. But I was happy that I only found 9 one day. I think the worst I've ever found was like 45 when I first started walking the neighborhood. And then some of those had probably been there for a while. So I also want to give a shout out, or I want to give a shout out to the people that have either stopped me or just driven by and said, hey, more power to you, and the nice reactions that I get from people on nextdoor.com. I appreciate you stopping to say thanks or just waving and honking your horn and being like, yeah. That's nice. I appreciate it. I'm going to continue to be out there walking as long as I can, and I will pick up the trash as long as I can. And hopefully, over time, I will start seeing a marked downturn of trash that I find on the streets. Now, I don't see that happening soon because the streets, some of the streets I walk on are very high traffic. El Salito, 620, Hatch. A lot of those are high traffic areas for construction companies and for everyone in day-to-day use. I mean, because you cut across El Salito to get to Cypress Creek from 620. Yeah, 620 goes up and down to from 183 all the way down to 2222 and beyond. So that's a major street. So there's a lot of high traffic there. And then of course Hatch, you can cut across from 620 to go all the way down to El Salito, where then you can go to El Salito and continue on your way to Cypress Creek. So I don't see a downturn on that. I have seen less trash on the road and sidewalks on the smaller side streets that come off of those streets, like my street, for example, even though it's a little bit of a traffic area because it cuts into some of the smaller streets off of Hickory Drive and Red Bay and Black Cherry and stuff like that. So I'm happy for that, and I appreciate everybody who is keeping an eye out on themselves and on others. And if you're out walking and you feel like picking up a piece of trash, by all means, please do. And if you see me out on the road, give a wave, a shout, or a honk. And if you see some trash and I happen to be right there, just go, "Hey, Javier, there's a piece of trash right there." I won't be offended. I won't be upset. I will walk over, say hello, and get that piece of trash from you. So, all in all, I think I am really. I not think I know. I'm really happy about seeing a lot of my fellow neighbors out there picking up trash and being positive overall. So thank you for that. Okay, so we're going to move now into the. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Hold on a second. I think you're going to like this. Here is a beautiful groomsman gift that Chris and Maya, or Maya and Chris, depending on who you know, who you knew first, let's put it that way, got me for being in the wedding. And this was given to all, at least all of the groomsmen. I'm not sure what the bridesmaids got. So Maya, if you want to tell me what the bridesmaids got, I'll wrap it into next week's podcast. So let me put this down and show you this beautiful box, and then you'll see what's inside the box. You see that? That's right. It says Swanky Badger on it. So I didn't look up what Swanky Badger was, but I was pleasantly surprised and happy to see this. And thank you again, Chris and Maya, for this. I'm not one to overly emote when I receive things because I usually just go out and buy it when I want it. But I really appreciated this gift that you got for me and the other groomsmen. So there is the. It is a. I got to put this down again, but you really want to see this. Huh? I want to tease you. This is just. If you know what this is, then you know what the rest of it's gonna be. So let me show you this. This is it's hard to see from the, let me get in my other hand so that you can see it better on the camera. I hate to move the camera because I got it in a good spot and it's not going to be right. So this is a nice crystal decanter. Beautiful. And you can't read it, or maybe you can. It says Reserve Ayala 2022. And for those of you who don't know, my last name is Ayala, and I need to get some wonderful whiskey to put in there. Now, Chris also took the time to individualize it further by putting on there a quote, and each person's quote was different. So my quote was this: "Alcohol may be man's worst enemy, but the Bible says, love your enemy." Which Chris knows me, and I think that's an absolutely perfect one. This was said by Frank Sinatra, by the way. So there's that. And then on top of that, You're gonna love this too. It comes with two glasses. It's so perfectly packed in here. And now you see that. And that says Ayala on it. So there's two custom whiskey glasses that come with the decanter, and I just think that's perfect. So I'm gonna have to get some good whiskey, or port or whatever, and drink it down from there. And I'll have it out the next time Chris and Maya, you guys make it to the house. I'll have be sure and have it out for you so you can see it. Thank you very much. I love the box. I don't know what it is, but it's absolutely fantastic. So I just thought everybody out there who may still be watching that were friends and family of Chris and Maya and added me to their YouTube watching, which thank you, by the way. I thought you might want to see that if you didn't get to see it from anybody else from the wedding. So I'm just going to put this right here for now to the side, and might show it again at the end. So that's from the wedding. So we're going to go ahead and go into the next part of the show, which is the bottom line. So normally I like to have a Zen moment with the bottom line, but like I said, this is a kind of a short one this time, as short as I can make it. So I won't have a Zen this week, but I'll have a Zen next week, and I am going to go ahead and show you the bottom line. So here is bottom line. Dark Frog Social Media presents The Bottom Line. This week's topic, they're back. Door-to-door salespeople. Okay, so you read it in the byline. They're back. Door-to-door salespeople. So during the COVID scare and the main lockdown and all that, one of the upsides, one of the few, but one of the upsides was that we lost door-to-door salespeople. As in they didn't come around anymore. I think there's one came by in the beginning of like a couple weeks after lockdown started for the Austin Cedar Park area. And I was able to be like, hey, lockdown, go away, and close the door without being too rude about it. So here's the thing. I get it. There's some people that are trying to sell some goods or services or something, and they are legitimate. However, there has been a stigma put upon people that just randomly come on your door and knock. People that are old enough remember the Fuller Brushman, or remember the milkman coming and knocking on your door and bringing you milk, or talking about their products from the Brushman. However, for many years after that, everybody and their brother who came to your door, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, were not legitimate. So they were trying to sell you snake oil. Even the encyclopedias, they were trying to sell you encyclopedias, and you didn't want that, and sometimes they weren't legitimate either. But more and more and more, probably from the 60s on, I'm not sure prior to that, but salespeople, door-to-door salespeople, have gotten a bad rap, and in my opinion, rightfully so, because more often than not, they are not legitimate. And if they are legitimate, they get the stigma of those who aren't legitimate. I'll give you an example. Well, and before I give you the example, just let you know, so during COVID, it was nice. There was nobody coming by because everybody was afraid. Nobody was answering their door anyway. And so it was nice. And then as soon as Texas started lifting the ban on masking and social distance, they started coming out of the woodwork. And yes, I'm equating to those insects that come out of the woodwork, equivalent to salespeople, because there are times where I feel like that happens a lot. And now I'll go into an example. So you don't have, occasionally you have the nice person that will knock on your door and step back as they knock on the door, so that you don't feel threatened by them being so close to you when you open the front door. and they try to explain their goods and services. So those are the ones that I will treat as nicely as I can, and I will actually try to answer very neutral answers to their questions without giving away anything like my how much I make or whether I owned a house or not, and what are the names of my neighbors and stuff like that. That are some of the questions that I get asked. So I try to be as nice to them as possible, and I send them on their way. Um, but this is not the main portion of the people that come to my door. The ones that cause bad raps for those who are nice, like some of those people, are the next example. Person comes up to my door, knocks on the door, and when I answer, proceeds to automatically try to take a step forward, which I must tell them to step back. And then they also try to inform me about how all of my neighbors are using them for insert services. For example, windows, siding, um, roof repair, chimney repair, lawn service, and everything, and how there's a lot of my neighbors that are using them. So why not allow them to give me a quote? Well, here's the problem. I know most of my neighbors, and I know that they're not getting any work done. So the fact that they're trying to tell me that my neighbors are getting work done already puts me in a bad place, and I'm sure it puts you in a bad place. As in, I know they're lying. Why should I even listen to this person from now on? Any point from their point on is more than likely a lie. Um, that leads me to a third example, which I've been hearing more about lately on Nextdoor and from other people I know on Facebook, talking about how some of the people that come to their door are getting quite aggressive. Some of them are continuing to try to convince them that they should buy their goods and or services, to the point where after they've said no and they start closing the door, they start trying to put their foot in the door, which is an old school sales tactic, which I don't know is true or not, but that's what people used to say they would do to try to continue the sales talk. But in this day and age, that's a very aggressive move. So nobody appreciates that. So if you are in charge of people that go door to door, or you yourself go to door to door, nobody appreciates that. In fact, it's a very aggressive move. And in this state, where they do allow you to just carry a gun anywhere, but particularly in your home, that's really not something you want to do. So these people have started getting very aggressive to the point where people are fearing to open the door at all. So if you actually are a door-to-door salesperson that is legitimate, and you're really trying to sell something, and you're trying to make a living by doing this, you're not going to be very welcome by anyone because you have the very aggressive people. One final example, I think it's the final example, is those that approach you when you're on your lawn or in your front yard doing work. I'm not even going to talk about those that have gone to my backyard and basically violated, any rights they have by stepping onto my property without permission, especially in the back. I've given those the bum rush. But on my front lawn, and I just had a neighbor the other day talk to me about how truck drove up. They stepped onto his lawn and started talking to him about how they could do work for him, and they wanted to give him a quote, and they wanted to work on the house, and blah blah blah. And he finally had to get quite insistent, almost aggressive with them, saying, "Look, I don't want anything. I didn't ask you for anything. Please leave." But in an more aggressive way than that, which eventually they got in their truck and drove off. But see how that leads to bad juju for everyone, for anybody who may be a legitimate salesperson. So the thing about that is you need to be aware, if you're a door-to-door salesperson, that chances are you're never going to get any sales out of anybody. It's probably best to get a job where you can go and see people when they call and make an appointment. But as far as legitimate goes, chances are no one's going to listen to you on that. So the bottom line comes in two pieces. The first piece is, for those of you who own a home and are at home, be careful, be cognizant of everything around you when people walk up to your door. If necessary, get a Ring camera. And then if really necessary, make sure that if you are going to answer the door, someone else is home as well. If you are afraid that they look like they could be quite aggressive. And the second part of the bottom line is that if you are a door-to-door salesman person, don't do it. In the end, you're really not going to be making any kind of money at all. So if someone sold you a bill of goods that you can do it, then they're almost their own door-to-door salesperson pulling a sales scam on you. And that's the bottom line. Thanks a lot. Hey everybody, okay, so that's the bottom line, brought to you by Dark Frog Social Media. So I want to welcome, if you're still here for this part of the podcast, I want to welcome you if you're new. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you here being here and watching the show. If you've been here before, welcome back, like Cotter used to say. And I hope you enjoy what I bring to the internet. I know there's a lot of social media out there, and I appreciate you stopping in to watch me do my thing. So I wanna bring up a thing that I just got out on my YouTube channel. Something different, not part of Javier in the Air. It was actually How to Ice Dye by my great neighbor Zaida Pavlovsky. If you go to my YouTube channel, if you don't follow me on Facebook and you haven't seen the link already, and you don't follow Zaida either, then go to my YouTube channel and you will see it is the video that I just uploaded about 45 minutes ago. So if you are looking for something to watch, or you've been wanting to learn how to ice dye, and you want it in a very friendly fashion, this is the YouTube video for you. So Zaida came to me a couple weeks ago and started talking about ice dyeing. I thought it was fantastic. She got some colors. She did the ice dye technique on a t-shirt and then on 6 or 8, I think, pieces of muslin. And they came out fantastic. So we thought it would be great for her to put together a little tutorial on how to ice dye. And so I keep touching my glasses and making them off. So that's what we did. So it turned out really great. I have a video out there on YouTube now. It's not that short because I had to put a lot of stuff in there. We talked about, soda ash and the dyes that you want to use and how to ice dye and whether you should wear gloves or not. And definitely one of the takeaways that you should, I definitely recommend you watch the video. Zaida did great work on it, but one of the takeaways you should do is stainless steel is your friend. Anytime you do any kind of dye work, stainless steel is your friend. I wouldn't use a porcelain sink. I wouldn't use any other kind of sink except for stainless steel, because the dye is not going to stick to the stainless steel. And I would use the stainless steel containers as well that you're doing the dye over. And what do I mean by doing the dye over? Watch the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. So Zaida Pavlovsky's ice dye, she was nice enough to let me edit it and put it together and get it out there and use my YouTube channel. I also got to narrate pretty good portion of it because we were talking and laughing and joking while we were doing this, and then we were being also very serious in certain parts because we weren't sure how things were going to go. So we didn't do a lot of voice work. So Zaida does get to talk a little bit about it at one point, which is great. And then the rest of it I narrated so that to take out all our talking about it and hey, what are you doing, and then turn it this way and turn it that way. So if you're really looking into ice dyeing and you're in and you want to try it out, I highly recommend Zyda's video. So check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. So, again, for those of you that are new, welcome. Those of you who have been here before, I am always looking for new and fresh talent to be on the show. So, if you have a mom and pop business, whether it's local to the Austin Cedar Park area or not, and you'd like to be on my show, send me a message. However, you can get a hold of me, even put a message on the YouTube channel in the comments section, and I will get back to you and I will set up a call for us. Over the next couple of weeks, I plan on having Crazy Stacy on here. In fact, I probably will need to get her on next week, as in 3 weeks there will be the Be the Light Craft Fair, and I think this is the fourth or fifth one, maybe even the sixth one. I'm not sure, but definitely the fourth one that has a physical location. We did do one kind of remote during COVID. And so, let's see what we can get from that. She got 60 vendors this time. She's very excited about it. We're all excited about it. I might have some ice dye shirts. Zyda's going to have her ice dye shirts and pieces of muslin that she had that you can use for a bandana or a handkerchief or a doily or something along those lines. They look fantastic. She's going to have more. I picked up some more dye as well, so I'm going to try my hand at it, see what I can do. I might have the loofah out there for sale. And anything and everything that has been made by local craftsmen and women are going to be available. I know for a fact that some of the goods, such as baked goods and jams and jellies that are out there for sale, are going to be fantastic. Again, Crazy Stacy's jellies, and then there's a young lady named Trisha that does some great baked goods that I bought before, and they're fantastic. So I'm gonna be doing that soon on the show. Going into, I might have a special for the Halloween portion. I'll have a little bit on there about it, and a little bit of history, and then a little bit of Halloween on Hickory. Halloween on Hickory. So we'll see how that goes. Going into November, then we're gonna be doing. I'll probably have a Misfits Thanksgiving again this year. I'll talk a little bit about that as we get closer to Thanksgiving. And then going into Christmas, I'm not sure. I might be doing another adventure like I did last year. For those of you who don't know and didn't get to see it, the Christmas time episodes that I did, one of them has to do with me going out to the Murfreesboro, Arkansas, to the state park there, Crater of Diamonds, where you get to pan for diamonds. Unfortunately, we found nothing, but it was fun to do anyway. I went with my friends James and Julia, and so we will. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do this year. Maybe I'll do something crazy like that again. And that I didn't decide until mid-November. I think that we were gonna do that. So that turned into a lot of fun. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. You have a lot of things that you can watch out there, and I appreciate you watching my show. Don't forget Zyda's How to Ice Dye, and I will see everybody again next week. Thanks a lot, everyone.